so much.
And I want all of the news to start asking the question, what is the crime? Because everyone in this court has not been informed of what the crime is. The defendant does not know the crime that was committed.
That was Lauren Boebert speaking outside of Donald Trump's criminal trial. There were about a dozen other MAGA Republican members of Congress who showed up with Donald Trump as part of his entourage, then walked outside and helped Donald Trump violate the gag order by attacking witnesses, attacking the judge's daughter, attacking New York, attacking the judicial system. But you saw there that some of the other MAGA Republican members of Congress who were there just kind of walked away and left Lauren Boebert there as people were yelling at her and heckling her and calling her and saying, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice. Here's Anna Paulina Luna, one of the MAGA Republican Congress members who was at the trial today as well. And I think she invented a new word called retainered. Here she is. Play this clip.
More to Cohen, who admitted to lying to members of Congress, that's contempt of Congress, just so that you are tracking. And I want to follow it up by saying this. It is by no coincidence that you have Goldman, a member of House Oversight who's a Democrat, prepared Cohen for his testimony, is also retainered by the judge's daughter as a client. Does that seem like it's not sham to you?
I mean, folks, this takes bootlicking to an entirely new level. And as Matt Gaetz was speaking, you had someone behind him holding a sign that quite literally said bootlicker. You see it right there. Here's a wider shot of that moment right there as well. Here's Matt Gaetz talking and saying that the reason that they are there is to violate the gag order for Donald Trump. They're just admitting it. Play this clip.
We're here of our own volition because there are things we can say that President Trump is unjustly not allowed to say. This is a corrupt judge. These are corrupted witnesses. This is a corrupt prosecution that belies any sense of the facts or the law. And so we're going to keep speaking out against this. We're going to keep fighting against this. And we will head back to Washington as House conservatives saying that these undemocratic efforts must be stopped. They must be defunded. We must use our Article 1 powers to stand against election interference.
Here's another view of that sign one more time that says bootlicker behind him. Here's Lauren Boebert talking about the many branches of Congress. The many branches of Congress. Play this clip.
Michael Cohen, who has lied in front of all branches of Congress, of government.
So you should know, Lauren Boebert, that Congress is supposed to be a co-equal branch of government and a check on executive authority. The fact that the MAGA Republicans have reduced a co-equal branch to the point where they're showing up to a former president's hush money criminal trial where he paid off Stormy, and they're out there lying about the case, aiding and abetting his crimes, is just utter humiliation for our country. Here's MAGA Republican Andy Ogles further embarrassing our great nation and further attacking our great Constitution. Play this clip.
This is not a prosecution. This is a persecution. We have a two-tier justice system in this country. And if a former president can be targeted by a woke and corrupt judge, then you can be targeted as well. Mr. President, we've got your back. Thank you. Also,
one more time, here's Matt Gaetz with the bootlicker sign behind his head. Here's Anna Paulina Luna as well. Just more kind of ranting from her. Here, play this clip right here.
More to Cohen, who admitted to lying to members of Congress, that's contempt of Congress, just so that you are tracking. And I want to follow it up by saying this. It is by no coincidence that you have Goldman, a member of House Oversight who's a Democrat, prepared Cohen for his testimony, is also retainered by the judge's daughter as a client. Does that seem like it's not sham to you?
Here is MAGA Republican Congress member Bob Good just basically yelling attacks at Justice Merchan's daughter. I mean, again, just think about this. You got the MAGA Republican members of Congress showing up, attacking the judge's daughter because Trump is telling him to, because Trump was prohibited from attacking a judicial officer's daughter by way of a gag order in a hush money case. MAGA Republican Congressmember Bob Good, everybody play the clip.
himself, and yet we're supposed to believe his testimony as the star witness against President Trump. This is lawfare, again, to try to steal or to rig an election. You got a corrupt prosecutor, you got a corrupt star witness, you got a corrupt judge whose daughter is one of the leading fundraisers for the Democrat Party, having raised some $100 million. That's the judge's daughter. This is a crooked sham trial to try to hurt the nominee who's going to be the president of the United States, whether or not they like it or whether or not they want that to happen. President Trump is going to be reelected. I'll turn it back.
I think at some point, Fox just had enough of this, and Fox cut the coverage from the Republicans at the trial. Like, well, this is because they knew how embarrassing this was, even with their own propaganda. Play this clip.
Countries all over the world, I never thought I'd see it happening in the United States of America.
Now, my colleague.
All right, so we're going to pull back from that a little bit so we can really work through what we're seeing here. Something has.
Then you had Matt Gaetz make this post, standing back and standing by Mr. President. Okay, Donald Trump's not the president. And the fact that Matt Gaetz is echoing the words of what Donald Trump said to the Proud Boys at Donald Trump's criminal trial, saying standing back and standing by. Again, how dangerous, how ludicrous, the madness here. And as I've always said, this isn't like a Republican thing or a Democrat thing. This is criminality by these people. This is a gang. This is also just very weird. What in the world is this? Just so you see the scene outside of the courthouse, it's Donald Trump dressed up his cult members again. Remember the day before he dressed up his cult members who showed up the prior day of trial. He dressed them up in red ties and he made them wear their uniform. Oh, all the MAGA Republican Congress members who showed up today, they then took a selfie of themselves in the courtroom. It was actually an adjacent courtroom where they took the selfie of themselves. Lauren Boebert then posts, they may have gagged President Trump, but they didn't gag me. They didn't gag the rest of us. Why is that fraud Michael Cohen allowed on TikTok with a shirt of Trump behind bars, but Trump can't speak out? Why is Merchan's daughter allowed to fundraise for every Democrat under the sun? This is a pathetic political witch hunt. Just so you see the wall of shame right here. Here are the MAGA Republican members of Congress who were there. Waltz, Good, Harshberger, Gates, Biggs, Crane, Norman, Boebert, Cloud, Ogles, and Anna Paulina Luna. This is what, even DeSantis supporters are like, what in the world is this? This is Peter Henline, a DeSantis supporter. He goes, so in court today, in Donald Trump's criminal trial, you had a congresswoman, you had Anna Paulina Luna, who was a former stripper, and then Turning Point USA influencer turned congresswoman, I say alleged. Her most recent effort in Congress, a bill to give Trump a gold medal. Lauren Boebert, a lady who did you know what with her hand to you know who at a Beetlejuice public show in a public theater, and a mother who didn't go to a court hearing a few days ago with her 18-year-old son, who's facing multiple charges of burglary and identity theft. She didn't even help him get a lawyer. Matt Gaetz, the man who tanked Congress and orchestrated the removal of Kevin McCarthy because McCarthy wouldn't shut down an ethics investigation into his activities with underage girls. What a joke the GOP has become. Not only that, the GOP had to shut down certain votes and hearings today because many of their members went to the courthouse. So they were going to be marking up some performative contempt resolution on Merrick Garland, but they didn't have enough members to even be there to do this because the members were there with Donald Trump attacking the rule of law at his hush money trial. Here's what Congressmember Eric Swalwell just said moments ago. Play this clip.
Well, it's nice to see that some of my colleagues on the other side could make it today. I don't know if that means that there weren't enough seats in the courtroom in New York, but I know that the Oversight Committee canceled a hearing that was supposed to happen right now on this matter so that they could be at the president's trial. I know some members will miss this vote because they want to be at the president's trial, and I don't think that anything could animate the phrase "do nothing Congress" more than missing votes and canceling hearings to go up and be a spectator at your cult leader's trial. That is the definition of do nothing Congress. But
one more clip from Congressmember Eric Swalwell from just moments ago. Let's play it.
Swalwell. Well, it's nice to see that some of my colleagues on the other side could make it today. I don't know if that means that there weren't enough seats in the courtroom in New York.
And here's Congress member Ted Lieu. Here's what he had to say.
So let's talk about Donald Trump. I agree with the Republican from New Jersey who said if a person cannot stand trial, he should not be president of the United States. Donald Trump has fallen asleep multiple times at his own criminal trial. I am a former prosecutor. I can tell you that is not normal. I think there may be some physical and mental health issues that should be investigated. I'm going to tell you what people in the courtroom are writing about Donald Trump falling asleep. Here's a reporter who has been observing this. One reporter observed, quote, that Donald Trump has nodded off a few times, his mouth going slack and his head drooping onto his chest, end quote. Another reporter said, quote, that Donald Trump slowly dropped his head. His eyes closed, it jerked back upward, he adjusts himself, then his head droops again, he straightens up, leaning back, his head droops for a third time, he shakes his shoulders, eyes closed still, his head drops, end quote. If a person is so weak and feeble, if Donald Trump is so weak and feeble, he cannot stay awake at his own criminal trial, he can't be president of the United States.
Well, there you have it, folks. Again, just the MAGA Republicans just bringing shame and humiliation on our country. You know, like when Donald Trump goes out there and goes, the world is laughing at us. It's because of things like this. This is so degrading to our country. Again, that's why I don't care what political party you're from. You should be ashamed at this behavior by the Republican Party that's gone full MAGA. You should just be ashamed at the behavior of Donald Trump. They are a weapon of mass humiliation for our country. Hit subscribe. We're on our way to 3 million subscribers. Thanks to your support. Thanks for watching.
Love this video? Make sure you stay up to date on the latest breaking news and all things Meidas by signing up to the MeidasTouch newsletter at MeidasTouch.com/newsletter.